Okay, so now we're gonna work on our practice. We're gonna just try a couple different techniques here. Everybody's gonna kind of stick with me and do the same thing on this. So you just get a good sense of how to approach this. And then when you get ready to start your actual one, you'll kind of have a stockpile of good techniques here. We talked about using an inspiration picture. That's going to fit in well with all of these techniques that I'm about ready to show you. Okay. So the first thing we're going to work on is color blending, because that's a big deal and it's going to be kind of the backbone of this project. I'm going to start in this section right here, and I'm going to just do I'm going to stick with warm colors, and I'm going to do a nice shift between those colors. So I'm going to use my flat brush. I'm going to pick up my yellow to start with, because if I look at the color wheel, yellow, orange, and red are all right next to each other. Okay, I'm going to work in between the lines and really kind of take my time. Take my time with the painting while at the same time moving fast enough. You got to concentrate. If you spend a lot of time chatting it up in between these, your paint's going to dry and the blending's not going to work. So you've got to move somewhat quickly. Since I'm wanting to do 3 colors in here, I kind of want to go 1/3 of the way down. Okay, so I'm going to push my yellow down 1/3 of the way, maybe even a little bit farther than 1/3, so that I get a little bit of overlap. But I want a nice thick paint. Not too thick, I mean not like pooled, but I want smooth, even, no brush lines. This paper's pretty thin. Not quite like canvas, but it'll be just fine for what we're doing. Okay, so I'm gonna stop there, and I'm gonna pick up a little bit of an orange, and I'm gonna push the orange right up to the yellow first and stretch it down just a ways. Really go for smooth here. Smooth before blending. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna rinse my brush quickly, dry it quickly, and I'm gonna start doing some dry brush between the 2 colors. So they're still kind of wet, and I'm just taking the brush like I'm sweeping with a sweeper and sweeping the 2 colors back and forth in little back and forth short strokes. Okay, see how that's starting to kind of blend those? Then I'm gonna go the opposite direction. And just sweep the colors together. Nice little small, you can try some little small circle strokes. Key is you don't want water in your brush. It should just be a nice, smooth, gradual blending. If the orange is feeling a little powerful, you can pick up just a teeny bit of yellow and overwork just a little bit of yellow. It'll kind of help soften. But again, you'll notice my brush marks are never big. They're just short, quick, smooth. Okay, I like that part, so I'm gonna leave that be. I'm gonna pick back up with my orange down here and keep going. Still smoothing, crisping, bringing up the color so that it's nice and intense. Okay, somehow I just deleted the segment of painting this area purple. So I'm gonna walk you through what I did here. I went back to the original purple that we mixed, where we mixed the red and the violet, or the red and the blue, to make our own violet. And we had said that it kind of came out red-violet. that's fine. We're still gonna use this up. Because it was really dark, I picked up a little bit of white and I kind of mixed it in over here on the side to get kind of a muted lavender, reddish purple color, okay? I took that color and I painted it everywhere in this area, really going for smooth. And it just looked really flat and boring. So then I came back and picked up a little bit of just the unmixed true red violet. And I kind of dabbed it in right in here under the eye in the corner and a little bit in the corner here. And then I dry brushed all of that out so that if you can see in the camera, I don't know, there's kind of this nice dark to light shift. That value change, that smooth value change is what's going to give things form and dimension. I would encourage you to do this frequently. Don't just paint an area a solid color, either tint it or shade it in a corner with a little bit darker value and then dry brush the two together. I could take this even farther. I could add more white and I could come down on this side. It would basically be like I was doing a this, and maybe a light pink, and color blending it just like I did with my orange, red, and yellow across that section. I'm just staying within one color to do so. So I've done that, and I've got this nice, cool graded value shift of violet. Now I'm going to add yellow over the top of it, and my goal is to scumble over the top. The key is this has to be totally dry. So you probably want to pause the video right now and accomplish this first, then pick it back up with coating over the yellow. So pause the video now. Okay. You've painted this area. Now you're going to take a pretty, you can see how much yellow I've got on here. I'm going to overcoat this and pray that it works because yellow is really see-through. I really want a nice, even yellow shade. Now, I don't want to pile it on per se, but that's looking really streaky. This may not be the best color combination to do together. It might be better to do something like a red and a purple, or to put the yellow down first and do the purple on top. That's probably what I should have done. But we're experimenting. This is why we're practicing. Now, before I go any farther though, I gotta get this smooth. Even if that color's peeking out a little bit, how it looks right now is not gonna fly. So get that. Nice, smooth strokes. We're getting there. And this is like we talked about before, it's like icing a cake. I'm just barely letting the brush touch the paper. But I've also got to work fast so that that sgraffito will work. Barely let it scrape the surface. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting thicker. Like I said, not my favorite here. My thought process was the dark color would show through well, but I think it would work better flipped. Okay, we're gonna work just that part right now. What's still wet, clean out your brush real fast, flip your brush over, and let's do a controlled scumble, which means you're just gonna kind of make curly cues throughout and let that purple shine through. And there's the dogs again. Every video, they make their presence known. Key here is you gotta work fast. Okay. If that happens and it doesn't drag off, just clean your brush off. It means you built too much up on the back of your brush. And carry on. Cool technique, okay? Now, while that one's drying, you can come back up to the top and work this last little section. These may not be our favorite colors together, but definitely a cool technique. Experiment with other colors. And it's really, I mean, once it gets on there, it's not that bad. I'm not hating it. It's fine. Growth mindset, right? Okay. And you kind of get that sense too of that color shift underneath it. You can see that dark to light as it. I don't want to scumble outside of the lines though, because it would push that paint into areas that I don't want it in. Okay, done. That area is done and it has very cool texture going on now. Okay, so you're gonna see two colors shining through the one area. All right, for today, that's it. We're gonna stop. We will finish out the rest of these sections tomorrow. Don't forget to rinse your brush, walk it over to the sink and clean it out with soap. You're probably sick of hearing me say it by now. Don't smush your plastic on top of your paint and put it on the drying rack until you come back tomorrow. See you later.